And to Trendy Now, and joining me as ever is Daisy Cousens, a YouTube star with a very own video channel. Daisy, let's start as normal. What trended on social media today?
Well, Andrew, you'll be interested to know that the #1 trending topic on Australian Twitter for most of the day was actually your good self. Andrew Bolt was trending at #1 thanks to your very excellent column today regarding the travel ban from India. You know, of course, you made the wonderful point that it was appalling and also smacked of racism. Now, the interesting thing about this #1 trend was that it was pushed by a lot of woke lefties, and it was not just talking about the content of the article, but it was a bunch of woke lefties having an absolutely huge existential crisis because they found themselves agreeing with something that you have said. And of course, they peg you as, you know, the second coming of Mussolini. So they were freaking about, oh my God, something must be wrong. I'm agreeing with Andrew Bolt, etc., etc., etc. I mean, the tribalism is just hysterical. It was very funny to look at. But I was sort of puzzled, though, because this is the crowd that has been effectively advocating for a police state in Australia for the last year. They've supported the internal state border closures. They're perfectly happy with the international border closures. They're happy with people getting, thrown in the lockup for not wearing a mask. So all of a sudden, they're happy to criticise this travel ban. Perhaps it's unfair of me to say this, but I reckon that if this was a travel ban for the UK with white people, they would be making nary a peep. I think they see this as a chance to virtue signal because it's a ban from India. It's an opportunity to call the government racist and stand on their soapbox. But look, that's just me. Yeah. Maybe I should give them the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know.
No, Daisy, honestly, I think you've nailed it there. And you've, in a sense, you could make me think, well, now I know I said the wrong thing because Twitter is agreeing with me. But I think that we agree on different principles. I am against racism, whether it's from the left or the right, from black or from white. They're for racism. I think that's probably right. And you know this thing about, I've never agreed with Andrew Bolt in the past. It does my head in. You know, you think, you don't agree with me that China's dictatorship is a threat? You don't agree with me that it's a crime to jail up to 1 million Muslim Chinese? You don't agree with me that free speech is actually a very important thing? You don't agree with me that racism, whoever does it, it's wrong? I mean, what are these people? Sorry, I just got carried away. Daisy, I love it when this woke revolution eats its own. I mean, Chris Bowen, the Labor frontbencher, he's been right into identity politics, warning companies to put more women on boards, or Labor might force them to. Here he is.
It's good for companies to have more women on board.
Should it be 50-50, for example?
Well, of course, that's the ideal.
Now, well, 2 weeks ago, Chris Bowen lost his spot on the ABC's Q&A panel show on global warming precisely because of thinking like that. Because he wasn't a woman. The ABC wanted someone from Labor and asked 4 Labor women to come on, but none would. And so the show went ahead without anyone from Labor, a Greens woman instead, another box ticked, someone who identified as Aboriginal, which, by the way, was announced as a credential. Ever listen?
Joining me on the panel tonight, Whadjuk Noongar woman and Network 10 journalist Narelda Jacobs, the former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, the Minister for Resources, Water and Northern Australia Keith Pitt, Green Senator Sarah Hanson-Young, and he's one of the architects of Australia's gas-led recovery and an advisor to the Obama, Trump and Biden administrations, Andrew Liveris.
So, Daisy, summing up, the ABC decided it would not, if it could not hear from a woman from Labor, it would not listen to any Labor frontbencher at all if they were a male. Fair enough?
Andrew, this has gone past the point of parody. I mean, this is sort of alarming. It is like something out of a Monty Python skit. I mean, if the ABC is still trying to plug Q&A as its flagship show, terribly, terribly important for democracy in Australia, despite its currently tanking ratings, well, I'm sorry, but refusing to ask on the show for a discussion about climate change, the Shadow Minister for Climate Change and Energy, which is what Chris Bowen is, This is not a way to legitimise the show. And aside from anything else, Andrew, aside from the obvious ridiculous identity politics of it, Labor has a party line that they all toe. So since they were pushing this to form a kind of diversity of voices, that was the excuse that they gave, it wouldn't have mattered who they'd asked from Labor, whether it was a man, a woman, or a pot plant, anyone, they would all say the exact same thing because it's Labor policy talking point and they have a party line that they need to adhere to. So all four of those women that refused to come on Q&A would have said the exact same thing that Chris Bowen would have said. So why wouldn't the ABC just save themselves all of that trouble and just ask Chris Bowen? That's what I want to know.
So they decided they wanted to hear what Chris Bowen was saying, but from a woman. And when they couldn't get a woman, they cancelled him, leaving their audience not receiving the information the ABC thought they should get. This is just insane. Daisy Cousens, thank you so much. You summed it up beautifully. Thank you for your time.